everybody. How am I doing? Thank you for the heart. Oh, hi, Florian. Hi, Anita. Hi, Tim, if you're watching. Hello, Saman. Sorry I didn't call you back, but, you know, I had to get prepared for this reading that you and I do. So I will talk to you afterwards if you're still around and awake. Okay? Wait, I'm going to turn off my music. So that was nice, wasn't it? It's actually the same music. It's from the same thing of music that I've been playing on YouTube every day. Only this one is towards the end of, I don't know, it's like an hour's thing that has like 10 million views or something. So I can load it up on Facebook for you on the Vienna Theatre Project page. So if you want to listen to it, then you can listen to the whole lot. And it's actually really, really relaxing just to have going in the background. It's beautiful music. So hello, everybody. How nice to see you this evening. I thought I'd get my lamp out and I'd give it a rub again. Although, of course, we never know whether giving the lamp a rub is a good thing, right? It's good. Oh, no, I'm just not going to go there. I can't tell you I can't say what just went on in my mind. Right, so let's see, shall we? Maybe we don't want an, listen to this, Samantha. Maybe we don't want an ifrit, ta-da, to come out of this thing, because generally when they come out, it's not really a very good thing, right? But we're going to give it a rub and see what happens. So here we have my ifrit or ifritina lamp, and I'm going to go, I want 3 wishes. I want the coronavirus to go away for everybody all over the world. That would be a good thing. Thank you for the stars, Saman. I'm trying. I'm learning. Even as you get older, you can learn. It's not true what they say that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, no. It's not coming. No, nothing's happening. Trying. I don't know. I don't know. Who said that? Danny, I don't know. I'm going to keep doing this for another... No, I think... No. Nothing. Hello? Is anyone in there? Hello? Hello? No, it's not happening. So I think we will return the lamp to its usual position on my fireplace. Because yes, I do have a fireplace in my living room. I'm very, very lucky. Where do I normally put it? I'm lost now. Is it here? Or is it here? I think it's here, isn't it, that I normally put it? So can everyone see it, my little lamp? There you go. I actually bought that lamp. I bought that lamp in the bazaar in Istanbul. And if you have never been there, it is fantastically amazing. So Istanbul itself is really, really beautiful and absolutely worth a visit. And the bazaar is really something like out of 1001 Arabian Nights. And I've been to a number of different bazaars around the Middle East, actually, just to show off a little bit. And I love the flavors and the colors. And the great thing about those, of course, is they haven't been ruined yet by tourists too much. I mean, you do get tourists going through them, but you know, a lot of local people are buying there and stuff as well, and it's just really, really beautiful and very, very nice. And I bought this lovely incense once when we were in Mossad. Was that right? Was that where it was? Beautiful. And I love burning it, but I haven't got the right dish to burn it in anymore because my dish broke. So I'm going to have to get that out. I'm going to have to go and buy one somewhere in the city. And then I'll burn it for you one evening. You won't be able to smell it, but I will. And it is the most gorgeous smell in the world. So I'm going to start reading. I have my water ready for me. It's actually got wine in it again. Because I was a bit tired today. So if I fall asleep in the reading today, just somebody nudge me, give me a call, somebody, and say, you've fallen asleep, wake up again. We are on the 32nd night of 1001 Arabian Nights. And, yes, well, you must let me know at the end of it what you feel about tonight's night. I have to say, when I was reading it through earlier on, I was like, what? Again? Oh no, poor guy. But I can't give too much away, no spoiler alerts. For those people who may have come here for the first night, because I did do a little bit of a shout out today, Saman and I, Saman Giraud, who is also online, you can see her on the side there, making comments, came together and discovered that we both wanted to read 1001 Arabian Nights. I am the director and producer of Vienna Theatre Project. Saman is a film director and film and theatre actress and a screenwriter. And together we decided to read 1001 Arabian Nights in English on Vienna Theatre Project and make it available for everybody during these rather strange times when many of us are stuck indoors. Actually, I have to say, we here in Austria, because this is being done from Austria, are going to have restaurants opening tonight. Everybody put your hands up if you've booked yourself a table. So things are going to get slightly different, but unfortunately, all the theatres are still closed and are going to stay closed, certainly until September. We don't know what's happening yet in Austria-wide. Festivals have been closed down. So we are providing, in our own way, a form of entertainment for you all, and we very much hope that you enjoy our evening's readings. We are already now on the 32nd night, and I'm not going to tell you how many nights we've got left because I discovered last time that I completely messed up my maths. So, everybody, sit back, relax. Children, are you all sitting comfortably? Get your drink out, put your feet up, and enjoy 1001 Arabian Nights. So, now, when it was the 32nd night, she said, Scheherazade said, I'm sorry, I think this is still on. I do apologise, everybody. There we go. Now, when it was the 32nd night, Scheherazade said, It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when the old woman said to the barber's second husband, Doff thy clothes, he rose, well nigh lost in ecstasy, and stripping off his raiment, showed himself mother naked. Whereupon the lady stripped also, and said to my brother, If thou want anything, run after me till thou catch me. Then she set out at a run, and he ran after her, while she rushed into room after room, and rushed out of room after room, my brother scampering after her in a rage of desire, like a veritable madman, with yards standing terribly tall. After much of this kind, she dashed into a darkened place, and he dashed after her, but suddenly he trod upon a yielding spot, which gave way under his weight, and before he was aware where he was, he found himself in the midst of a crowded market, part of the bazaar of the leather sellers, who were crying the prices of skins and hides, and buying and selling. When they saw him in his plight, naked, with standing yard, shorn of beard and mustachios, with eyebrows dyed red, and cheeks ruddled with rouge, they shouted and clapped their hands at him, and set to flogging him with skins upon his bare body, till a swoon came over him. Then they threw him on the back of an ass, and carried him to the chief of police. Quoth the chief, What is this? Quoth they, This fellow fell suddenly upon us out of the wazir's house in this state. So the prefect gave him 100 lashes, and then banished him from Baghdad. However, I went out after him, and brought him back secretly into the city, and made him a daily allowance for his living, although, were it not for my generous humour, I could not put up with the like of him. Then the Caliph gave ear to the barber's tale of his third brother. third brother's name was Al-Fakik the Gabbler, who was blind. One day, fate and fortune drove him to a fine, large house, and he knocked at the door, desiring speech with its owner, that he might beg somewhat of him. Quoth the master of the house, "Who is at the door?" But my brother spake not a word, and presently he heard him repeat with a loud voice, "Who is this?" Still he made no answer, and immediately heard the master walk to the door and open it and say, "What dost thou want?" My brother answered, "Something for Allah Almighty's sake." "Art thou blind?" asked the man, and my brother answered, "Yes." Quoth the other, "Stretch me out thy hand." So my brother put out his hand, thinking that he would give him something. But he took it, and drawing him into the house, carried him up from the stair to stair till they reached the terrace on the housetop. My brother, thinking the while that he would surely give him something of food or money. Then he asked my brother, "What dost thou want, O blind man?" And he answered, "Something for the Almighty's sake." Allah open for thee some other door. "O thou, why not say so when I was below stairs?" said my brother. "O cadger," said the man, "why not answer me when I first called to thee?" Said my brother, "And what meanest thou to do for me now?" "There is nothing in the house to give thee," said the man. "Then take me down the stairs," said my brother. "The path is before thee." So my brother rose and made his way downstairs till he came within 20 steps of the door, when his foot slipped and he rolled to the bottom and broke his head. Then he went out, unknowing whither to turn, and presently fell in with 2 other blind men, companions of his, who said to him, "What didst thou gain today?" He told them what had befallen him, and added, "O my brothers, I wish to take some of the money in my hands and provide myself with it." Now, the master of the house had followed him and was listening to what they said, but neither my brother nor his comrades knew of this. So my brother went to his lodging and sat down to await his companions, and the house owner entered after him without being perceived. When the other blind men arrived, my brother said to them, "Bolt the door and search the house, lest any stranger have followed us." The man, hearing this, caught hold of a cord that hung from the ceiling and clung to it, while they went around the house and searched, but found no one. So they came back, and sitting beside my brother, brought out their money, which they counted, and lo, it was 12,000 dirhams. Each took what he wanted, and they buried the rest in the corner of the room. Then they set on food and sat down to eat. Presently, my brother, hearing a strange pair of jaws munching by his side, said to his friends, "There is a stranger amongst us," and putting forth his hand, caught hold of that of the housemaster. Thereupon all fell upon him and beat him, and when tired of belabouring him, they shouted, "O ye Muslims, a thief is come into us, seeking to take our money." A crowd gathered around them, Whereupon the intruder hung on to them and complained with them as they complained. And shutting his eyes like them, so that none might doubt his blindness, cried out, "O Moslems, I take refuge with Allah and the governor, for I have a matter to make known to him." Suddenly up came the watch, and, laying hands on the whole lot, my brother being amongst them, drove them to the governors, who set them before him and asked, "What news wilt thou?" Quoth the intruder, "Look and find out for thyself. Not a word shall be wrung from us save by torture. So begin by beating me, and after me beat this man our leader." And he pointed to my brother. So they threw the man at full length and gave him 400 sticks on his backside. The beating pained him, whereupon he opened one eye, and, as they redoubled their blows, he opened the other eye. When the governor saw this, he said to him, "What have we here, O accursed?" Whereto he replied, "Give me the seal ring of pardon. We four have shammed blind, and we impose upon people that we may enter their houses and look upon the unveiled faces of the women and contrive for their corruption. In this way we have gotten great gain, and our store amounts to 12,000 dirhams. Said I to my company, "Give me my share, 3,000, but they rose and beat me and took away my money, and I seek refuge with Allah and with thee. Better thou have my share than they. So, if thou wouldst know the truth of my words, beat one and every of the others more than thou hast beaten me, and he will surely open his eyes." The governor gave the orders for the question to begin with my brother, and they bound him to the whipping post. And the governor said, "O scum of the earth, do ye abuse the gracious gifts of Allah and make as if ye were blind?" "Allah, Allah," cried my brother, "by Allah, there is none among us who can see." Then they beat him till he swooned away, and the governor cried, "Leave him till he come to, and then beat him again." After this, he caused each of the companions to receive more than 300 sticks, whilst the sham Abraham kept saying to them, "Open your eyes, or you will be beaten afresh." At last, the man came to the governor. "Dispatch someone with me to bring thee the money, for these fellows will not open their eyes, lest they incur disgrace before the folk." So the governor sent to fetch the money, and gave the man his pretended share, 3,000 dirhams, and keeping the rest for himself, banished the 3 blinded men from the city. But I, O Commander of the Faithful, went out and, overtaking my brother, questioned him of his case. Whereupon he told me of what I had told thee. So I brought him secretly into the city, and appointed him, in the strictest privacy, an allowance for meat and drink. The Caliph laughed at my story and said, "Give him a gift and let him go." But I said, "By Allah, I will take naught till I have made known to the Commander of the Faithful what came to pass with the rest of my brothers. For truly, I am a man of few words and spare of speech." Then the Caliph gave ear to the barber's tale of his fourth brother. And excuse me, will I take a drink of water? The barber's tale of his fourth brother. Now, as for my fourth brother, O commander of the faithful, Al-Kuz, Al-Thwani, or the long-necked Guglet height, from his brimming over with words, the same who was blind of one eye, he became a butcher in Baghdad, and he sold flesh and fattened rams, and great men and rich bought their meat of him, so that he was amazed much wealth, and got him cattle and houses. He fared thus a long while, till one day, as he was sitting in his shop, there came up an old man, and long of the beard, who laid down some silver and said, "Give me meat for this." He gave him his money's worth of flesh, and the oldster went his ways. My brother examined the sheikh's silver, and seeing that the dirhams were white and bright, he set them in a place apart. The greybeard continued to return to the shop regularly for 5 months, and my brother ceased not to lay up all the coin he received from him in its own box. At last he thought to take out the money to buy sheep, so he opened the box and found in it nothing, save bits of white paper cut round to look like coin. So he buffeted his face and cried aloud till the folk gathered about him, whereupon he told them his tale, which made them marvel exceedingly. Then he rose as was his wont, and slaughtering a ram, hung it up inside his shop, after which he cut off some of the flesh, and hanging it outside, kept saying to himself, "O Allah, would the ill-omened old fellow but come." And an hour had not passed before the sheikh came with his silver in hand, whereupon my brother rose and caught hold of him, calling out, "Come aid me, O Muslims, and learn my story with this villain." When the old man heard this, he quietly said to him, "Which will be better for thee, to let go of me, or to be disgraced by me amidst the folk?" "In what way wilt thou disgrace me?" asked my brother. "In that thou sellest man's flesh for mutton," said the old man. "Thou liest, thou accursed." "Nay, he is accursed who hath a man hanging up by way of meat in his shop," replied the old man. "If the matter be as thou sayest, I give thee lawful leave to take my money and my life," replied my brother. Then the old man cried out aloud, "Ho, ye people, if you would prove the truth of my words, enter this man's shop." The folk rushed in and found that the ram became a dead man hung up for sale. So they set upon my brother, crying out, "O infidel! O villain!" And his best friends fell to cuffing and kicking him, and kept saying, "Dost thou make us eat flesh of the sons of Adam?" Furthermore, the old man struck him on the eye and put it out. Then they carried the carcass with the throat cut before the chief of the city watch, to whom the old man said, "O Emir, this fellow butchers men and sells their flesh for mutton, and we have brought him to thee. So arise and execute the judgments of Allah, to whom be honour and glory. My brother would have defended himself, but the chief refused to hear him and sentenced him to receive 500 sticks and to forfeit the whole of his property. And indeed, had it not been for that same property which he expended in bribes, they would have surely slain him. Then the chief banished him from Baghdad, and my brother fared forth at a venture till he came to a great town, where he thought it best to set up as a cobbler. So he opened a shop and sat there doing what he could for his livelihood. One day he went forth on his business, and he heard the instant tramp of horses, and asking the cause was told that the king was going out to hunt and course. So my brother stopped to look at the fine suite. It so fortuned that the king's eye met with my brother's, whereupon the king hung down his head and said, I seek refuge with Allah from the evil of this day, and turned the reins of his steed and returned home with all his retinue. Then he gave orders to his guards, who seized my brother and beat him with a beating so painful that he was well nigh dead, and my brother knew not what was the cause of his maltreatment. After which he returned to his place in sorriest plight. Soon afterwards he went to one of the king's household and related what had happened to him. And the man laughed till he fell upon his back and cried, O brother mine, know that the king cannot bear to look at a monocular, especially if he be blind of the right eye, in which case he doth not let him go without killing him. When my brother heard this, he resolved to fly from that city. So he went forth from it to another wherein none knew him, and there he abode a long while. One day, being full of sorrowful thought for what had befallen him, he sallied out to solace himself, and, as he was walking along, he heard the distant tramp of horses behind him, and said, The judgment of Allah be upon me. And he looked about for a hiding place, but found none. At last he saw a closed door, which he pushed hard. It yielded, and he entered a long gallery in which he took refuge. But hardly had he done so when two men set upon him, crying out, Allah be thanked for having delivered thee into our hands, O enemy of God. These 3 nights thou hast robbed us of our rest and sleep, and verily thou hast made us taste of the death cup. My brother asked, O folk, what ails you? And they answered, Thou givest us the change, and goest about to disgrace us, and plannest some plot to cut the throat of the housemaster. Is it not enough that thou hast brought him to beggary, that thou and thy fellows? But now give us up the knife wherewith thou threatened us every night. Then they searched him, and found his waist belt, and in his waist belt they found a knife used for his shoe leather. And he said, O people, have the fear of Allah before your eyes, and maltreat me not, for know that my story is a right strange. "And what is thy story?" said they. So he told them what had befallen him, hoping they would let him go. However, they paid no heed to what he said, and instead of showing him some regard, beat him grievously and tore off his clothes. Then, finding on his sides the scars of beating with rods, they said, "O accursed, these marks are the manifest signs of thy guilt." They carried him before the governor, whilst he said to himself, "I am now punished for my sins, and none can deliver me save Allah Almighty." The governor, addressing my brother, asked him, "O villain, what led thee to enter their house with intention to murder?" And my brother answered, "I conjure thee by Allah, O Emir, hear my words, and be not hasty in condemning me." But the governor cried, "Shall we listen to the words of a robber who hath beggared these people, and who beareth on his back the scars of his stripes?" Adding, "They surely had not done this to thee, save for some great crime." So he sentenced him to receive 100 cuts with a scourge, after which they set him on a camel and paraded him about the city, proclaiming, "This is the requital, and only too little to requite him who breaketh into people's houses." Then they thrust him out of the city, and my brother wandered at random till I heard what had happened and what had befallen him, and going in search of him, questioned him of his case. So he acquainted me with his story and all his mischances, and I carried him secretly into the city, where I made him allowance for his meat and drink. Then the Caliph gave ear to the barber's tale of his 5th brother. The barber's tale of his 5th brother. My 5th brother, Al-Nash Shah the babbler, the same who was cropped of both ears, O commander of the faithful, was an asker wont to beg of folk by night and live on their alms by day. Now, when her father, who was an old man well stricken in years, sickened and died, he left us 700 dirhams, whereof each son took his 100. But as my 5th brother received his portion, he was perplexed, and knew not what to do with it. While in his uncertainty he bethought him to lay it out on glassware of all sorts, and turn an honest penny on its price. So he bought 100 dirhams worth of verrotery, and, putting it into a big tray, sat down to sell it on a bench at the foot of a wall against which he leant back. As he sat with the tray before him, he fell to musing and said to himself, "Know, O my good self, that the head of my wealth, my principal invested in this glassware, is 100 dirhams. I will assuredly sell it for 200, for which I will forthright buy another glass, and make by it 400. Nor will I cease to sell and buy on this wise till I have gotten 4,000, and soon find myself the master of much money. With these coins I will buy merchandise and jewels and ottars, and gain great profit on them, till, Allah willing, I will make my capital 100,000 dirhams. Then I will purchase a fine house with white slaves and eunuchs and horses, and I will eat and drink and disport myself. Nor will I leave a singing man or a singing woman in the city, but I will summon them to my palace and make them perform before me. All this he counted over in his mind, while the tray of glassware worth 100 dirhams stood on the bench before him. And after looking at it, he continued, and when, inshallah, my capital shall have become 100,000 dinars, I will send out marriage brokeresses to require for me in wedlock the daughters of kings and wazirs, and I will demand to wife the eldest daughter of the prime minister, for it hath reached me that she is perfect in beauty and prime in loveliness and rare in accomplishments. I will give a marriage settlement of 1,000 dinars, and if her father consent, well, but if not, I will take her by force from under his very nose. When she is safely homed in my house, I will buy 10 little eunuchs, for myself a robe of the robes of kings and sultans, and give me a saddle of gold and a bridle set with thick gems of price. Then I will mount with the Mamelukes preceding me and surrounding me, and I will make the round of the city whilst the folk salute me and bless me, after which I will repair to the wazir, he that is father of the girl, with armed white slaves before and behind me, and on my right and on my left. When he sees me, the wazir will stand up, and seating me in his own place, sits down much below me, for that I am to be his son-in-law. Now I have with me 2 eunuchs, carrying purses, each containing 1,000 dinars, and of these I delivered to him the 1,000, his daughter's marriage settlement, and make him a free gift of the other 1,000, that he may have some reason to know my generosity and liberality, and my greatness of spirit, and the littleness of the world in my eyes. And for 10 words he addresses to me, I answer him 2. Then back I go to my house, and if one come to me on the bride's part, I make him a present of money, and throw on him the dress of honour. But if he bring me a gift, I give it back to him and refuse to accept it, that they may learn what a proud spirit is mine, which never condescends to derogate. Thus I establish my rank and status. When this is done, I appoint her wedding night and adorn my house showily, gloriously. And as the time for parading the bride is come, I don my finest attire and sit down on a mattress of gold brocade, propping up my elbow with a pillow, and turning neither to the right nor to the left, but looking only straight in front for the haughtiness of my mind and the gravity of my understanding. And there before me stands my wife in her raiment and ornaments, lovely as the full moon, and I in my loftiness and dread lordliness will not glance at her till those present say to me, "Oh, our Lord and our Master, thy wife, thy handmaid, standeth before thee. Vouchsafe her one look, for standing wearieth her." Then they kiss the ground before me many times, Whereupon I raised my eyes and cast at her one single glance and turned my face eastwards again. Then they bear her off to the bride chamber, and I arise and change my clothes for a far finer suite and suit. And when they bring in the bride a second time, I deign not to throw her a look till they have begged me many times, after which I glance at her out of the corner of one eye and then bend down my head. I continue acting after this fashion till the parading and the displaying are completed. And then Scheherazade perceived the dawn of day and ceased saying her permitted say. So, dear friends, that was the end of the 32nd night. What time do we have? 22:27 Central European Time. Oh, hello Stefan. Hi Stefan. Hi Julian. Hi Jochen again. Hi Kamyab. Hello everybody. Thank you so much for listening in this evening. You are more than welcome, Jochen. Anita, you are more than yes, thanks. I know. Could you tell? There was a moment, Anita, where I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to stay awake for this one tonight? I didn't go to bed last night until 3 o'clock in the morning and had to get up at 8 o'clock because I had some work that I had to do very early. And I was working last night reading plays still until 3 o'clock in the morning because I had a meeting with Theater Drachengasse yesterday about the next season. So I've been busy and I'm going to be doing 2 plays for another company as well, either producing or potentially directing them. So it's going to be a busy season next season, and I've got quite a lot of work on at the moment. So despite the shutdown, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. We can only pray and hope that they all let us open. And I know, for example, 2 years ago, by the way, Stefan, who's joined us today, runs the classic festival Schloss Kirchstetten, which you must go and watch. They do wonderful operas and other music festivals and concerts. And I believe they have a wonderful Christmas market as well, and this beautiful old Schloss. And it is the smallest opera house in Austria. And that noise is my dog walking past. And it's the smallest house in opera, and it's a beautiful, beautiful room. And 2 years ago, I directed a very wonderful opera there. So check them out if you are in Austria, and make sure that you go and visit them. Sadly, not this summer because all the festivals have been closed here due to that horrible, horrible disease. But next summer, I'm sure they will be open, and next year they will be open in full force and power again, like the rest of us in Vienna. You are welcome, Saman. You are more than welcome. Thank you. Thank you for all your support. Guys, I have no more exciting stories to tell you today. I will upload that link again to the music if you do want to listen to it, and I will work out what the time was for the song that started today. And I'm going to upload another one actually, which I also found, which is really, really nice. The only reason why, and I wanted to play it, the only reason why I didn't is that it randomly puts adverts in it, which is a little bit annoying, but the music is really, really good. But it does have randomly adverts in it, and you never know when the adverts are going to come, and then that's really disturbing if you want to listen to nice music before we start the reading, and suddenly this advert for a lawnmower or something comes up. So anyway, I will put both musics up there. I will put the time that the music today started so that you can listen to that specifically. Otherwise, I wish you many salams, thank you very, very much for listening in this evening. As usual, it was a great pleasure to read for you tonight. Tomorrow night, Friday night, Saman is on and we'll be reading the 33rd night. And we are off Saturday, Sunday and Monday as usual now, because we read, for those who've joined us for the first time, we read from Tuesday to Saturday. If you want to know what we used to tell you what had happened the night before, but we have to admit we've got a little bit lazy, and you just have to read it. You just have to listen to it, not read it. Listen to it, and so read all the previous. If you want to listen to all the previous nights, you've only just started joining us, but you want to listen in, please do so. The first ones were a little bit rough because it was the first time we'd ever done it, getting in there. But I am going to finish off my tea. I am going to finish off this wonderful, very strange looking sodium and mineral drink, which probably if I'd drunk before the reading tonight, I would have been much more awake and alive, because this stuff is really, really great. And then at some stage, the stuff that is in my other glass. So guys, I wish you a wonderful, wonderful evening. I'm not going to say what Saman always says, because I'm going to say it wrong again. I wish you to take care of yourself. Yeah, right? I wish you, yeah, this. It's not whiskey, although it's in a whiskey glass. It's not whiskey, but maybe you can tell from the colour what it might potentially be. But it's very tasty. Anyway, and it comes from Austria, and it's grown locally, actually. So that was probably giving most of it away, wasn't it? So, guys, great night tonight, great day today if your day is just starting, great afternoon if your afternoon is just starting. See you next week. I will this weekend, I promise you this weekend at some time, if you want to listen in. I am going to read some Winnie the Pooh for your kids and Clarice Bean. You have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourself. Be gentle. Treat your heart well. Listen to beautiful music. Have nice soothing baths. Do whatever it is that you have to do to stay calm and peaceful and gorgeous in these interesting times. Much love. Bye-bye, everybody. Good night.